Dear friends, welcome to this week's edition of the Inspired Parsha. This week we have the incredible privilege to read through a double Parsha, the Parsha of Matos and Masei. And like every Parsha in the Torah, there's so many beautiful, rich Torah ideas, especially in the Hasidic world. But I just want to focus on one pasuk, one verse. This is in Bamidbar chapter 32, verse 5. It was the tribes of Reuven and Gad. The Jewish people were on the cusp of entering the land of Israel. They had to cross over the Jordan. And this is what those two tribes said. Vayomru es haaretz hazos niten lavadecha lachuza. They said, let this land be given to your servants as a possession, but al tavirenu es hayarden. Do not bring us over the Jordan. The tribes of Reuven and Gad did not want to enter the land of Israel. They said, let us stay on this side of the Jordan River. The question is why? What were they thinking? And of course, Moshe was upset at them, said, no, you should come into the land of Israel. You're part of the Jewish people. But what were they even thinking? Finally they had come this far to finally entering the land of Israel. They had seen all the miracles. They knew that this was part of the Jewish people's destiny. And they knew that the sin of the spies, that the spies were wrong in their assessment of the land of Israel, that they could enter the land of Israel and they could be successful there. What were these two tribes thinking, Reuven and Gad, that they said, we don't want to enter the land of Israel, we want to stay here on the east side of the Jordan? So there's a beautiful answer from the Rebbe Rashab, that's the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe. He said that the reason why they didn't want to enter the land of Israel is because they wanted specifically to be in a place where, yes, it was more materialistic, there was more abundance over there, but it was a place where it was a lower spiritual level, the people around them. And they said, let us lift up the people around us and bring them to a higher level of spirituality, a higher level of holiness. So what was the problem with that? Isn't that all of our task in life, is to try to spread Kedusha, spread holiness and spirituality wherever we go? What was wrong with them saying, we want to stay here on the east of the Jordan? So he said, yes, that should be our task in life, but the Rebbe Rashab explains, you can only do that if you've really prepared yourself first. The way to be able to go out into the world and lift up other people and bring them holiness and spirituality is to first make sure that you yourself, you've worked on yourself, you've been in a place where there's holiness, where there's clarity. And so their mistake was they first had to enter Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, and let some of that holiness inside of them, let some of that spirituality, and have then that clarity of thought and clarity of mind that they now can say, okay, we are ready. We can go out of the land of Israel and help spread holiness, even in places that are lower. This is our task, Our task is to spread holiness, but of course make sure that we're internally prepared first. And how does one do that? By first immersing oneself in an atmosphere of holiness. Lubavitcher Rebbe, it's interesting because this idea is from the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe. The Rebbe, before he would send out any of his messengers, his shluchim, to the far corners of the earth, he first had them learn for a long period of time in Crown Heights, get smicha, get the rabbinic ordination, and then he would interview them personally and really make sure that they were internally strong and they had experienced holiness and clarity of thought. And only then did he say, okay, now you can go out to the four corners of the earth and spread Judaism. I always like to leave everyone with a bracha, a blessing. Take this message to heart. Spread holiness to the four corners of the earth. Spread holiness wherever you are, even in places where there's a lower spiritual level. But before doing that, make sure that you yourself have the clarity of thought, where you have immersed yourself in an atmosphere of holiness, that you now are ready to go out into the outside world. I want to wish everyone here a wonderful Shabbos Kodesh. Thank you so much for listening.